Hello and welcome to this review of World of Ring. We've got a what is video now, so if you want to know what the game's about, what's inside the box, detailed look what's inside the box and how to play it, click there. We've also now played it. That video's up, so you can see us get to grips with it and have a play. Again, over there, I think that's with me. So we're just gonna I'll just give you a rundown of my thoughts now I've played it, what I think of the game, how it plays. I see it's still set up from when we played it, and the first thing you can almost see from this alone is just how much stuff you get in this game. I mean, the miniatures alone are just phenomenal. What you get in this box is amazing. I mean, hopefully you can see sort of here just the stuff, the miniatures. I mean, they come unpainted, but I've got them painted. But you know, just the miniatures alone are amazing. Just the amount you get in this box. I mean, I think it's about 70 quid retail. It's just a lot of stuff. So just from the off, there is a lot of stuff in this box. I mean, you have miniatures for all the different factions. You have your dwarves, you know, which are cool. I like them. Little stun piece here. Right. Got your dwarves. Not going to go through it and show you every miniature because there is, as I said, there is a what's inside the box, what is video for that. There's also a blog. I'll click here. I'll sort of go through and show you the miniatures. But I was just, one of the things that I was impressed with was the miniatures. Now, I first got this game mid-noughties. I got the first edition, and I'm sure I've still got it somewhere, I just can't find it. But then I wanted to play it. I never played it, and I wanted to play it, and I didn't have it, so I got the second edition for my birthday a few years back. And still didn't get to play it for some reason, but just recently I've had a few games of this, and I really like it. I mean, really cool game. I mean, the mechanics seem, it seems one of those games that seems a bit like SPG, where it looks more complex than what it is. The rules play really nice, really simple. You have your dice, you have your action dice here, and you just roll these. And from there, that's going to dictate what you're going to be doing in that turn, which is great. I love that aspect of it. The strategy of it, moving armies around. You're going to move an army, say from here to Minas Morgul into North Ithalian. Such, you're going to muster new troops, say get some regular and elites. They're going to appear in Barad-dûr, and you're going to build your army up. And that is an aspect I really like. Each game is going to be different. And when we played, one thing I noticed at first, you also have the cards, the decks. You have your character deck, and you have your tactics deck. Strategy deck, I believe it's called, which is a matter of, there's cards in here that will muster, and for muster dice and army dice, and we weren't using these at first. And when we played the game, I was getting a bit worried that even though I was enjoying it, it was a bit repetitive, move an army, attack. And it was only when we started using these, getting into using the cards, that suddenly it becomes a whole different game and takes itself to the next level of being a game. I mean, these things are just great. And they can really flummox you. Your opponent can produce one of these cards and it's something like you're not prepared for it. You can't see it come in, but then you have to be prepared for that. You have to then counter that. And combat itself is quite basic. You count up your army strength to a maximum of 5, and that's how many dice you roll, and we will get onto the dice in a minute. Rolling a 5 or 6, you're gonna strike a hit, and that gets a bit boring until the cards come into play again, because at the top is sort of normal event, and here is, you can play these in combat. So like this one here, Deadly Strife. Both armies add 2 to all dice on their combat roll and leader reroll. That seems like you're giving a chance to your opponent and you, but maybe your opponent hasn't rolled so well and you've rolled a bit average. That's going to be good. Have a look at another one here. Relentless Assault. Before the combat roll, you may inflict and apply up to 2 hits against your units. Add 1 dice to your combat roll for each hit you inflict. So, you know, you're weakening your army to get a better combat roll. So it's just things like that that are just going to add a whole new dimension to it. And then on the good side, they have the companions. So here's Strider and Gandalf the Grey, and as a guide they're doing one thing, but as when you separate them they're able to do something else, and that adds a whole new interest. And I like the asymmetrical level of it. I mean, there's 2 ways you can win the game: by brute force and combat, which is how the game was won yesterday. Good managed to get 4 victory points, and I was saying it's going to be quite difficult, but I forgot there's some quite weak things up the north here. I was expecting, you know, most of mine are in the region of Mordor, which is quite difficult to get into. So, but I can get win 10, but there's a lot more. I have a lot more armies. I should have gone a bit aggressive, a bit more aggressive, I feel, but we're getting used to it. Or there's another option. I can corrupt the Fellowship, and likewise the good guys can get their Fellowship, their ring bearers, into Minas Morgul, into Mordor, and what you'd see them slowly but surely making their way to Mount Doom, where in that case they would have won and they would have thrown the ring in. So I love that aspect. I love the political nature of it, where not everyone's at war and you're having to get your nations, 1, activated, so you're flipping over, and 2, getting them down to this at war status here, where you can do a lot more with them. That was a fun thing as well. So there's a lot going on in this game. The combat's great with sieges and so forth. Now, the only thing I would say with this game is, and excuse me as I move the mic now to grab them, so there might be a bit of a... hopefully that wasn't too bad for you, is these. These are the dice. So you've got these wicked dice here, your action dice. These are brilliant. So these are custom dice, each side doing different action, and good's got one. Great, these are fantastic, but the actual combat dice you get with them are just these plain, boring white dice. You get 5 of them as well, so that's okay because you get a maximum of 5 dice each combat roll. But 10 would have been good, 1 for each side. But what we use is we go back to the GW dice. So for evil, we've got these. We use the Mordor ones. For good, we use the Gandalf ones. So I just thought that with all the great stuff you have in this game, these little dice, they just let it down. It's such a small thing. So, but not too much worry because we've got other dice. Lots of gamers will probably have better dice, but these dice just don't do it. Apart from that, the board is, you can see it even here, it's a massive board. Really nice and detailed. Even if you don't like painting your miniatures, what I would recommend is at least painting the colour on the base so it just corresponds to their region colour. So here we have the Gondor is this blue region, and so my base is painted sort of a similar blue. Likewise, Rohan's green, something like this dark green. The elves, of course, are green as well, but they're more of a lighter green. So that's, even if you don't want to spend time painting the miniatures, I'd probably recommend at least painting the bases just to help out a wee bit. There are so many tokens and components here. You're getting value for your money. Probably this is the only game I've ever one of the few games I've bought where the money I've spent, I felt like it's worth its while, worth its value. Some games you just feel a bit, oh, I paid 90 quid for this, have I got 90 quid's worth of stuff? With this, you really do get your money. So I'm trying to track down the expansions. They're quite difficult to get hold of. I think it's Warriors in Middle Earth. That you would have seen it in the game when you upgrade Gandalf the Grey to Gandalf the White. Where is Gandalf? I can't find it. You don't have a Gandalf the White miniature, so we just luckily I had a Games Workshop miniature, so we just put that in place, which was good. But you get that miniature in the expansion, but I can't find the expansion anywhere. So Ares Games, if you're watching this, maybe send me a review copy, that would be lovely. Or even just send me a copy I can buy from you, because it's really difficult to get hold of where I live. Yeah, hopefully you can see in the videos in the Let's Play, the hobby vlog where I show you the miniatures, and this video, you can get a good feel whether this game is for you. I mean, it's a game that's left me wanting to play more of. There's certain games I've played where I've played it once and, you know, I can feel that's done me. I've enjoyed playing it, but I don't want to go back to it. This game has already left me wanting to play more. I can already see mistakes I've made and things I want to do better. It's brilliant. I mean, my attention was down here. I was pushing my assault on Gondor, and I had a sneaky plan of I needed some victory points. I could see the Woodland Realm up here undefended, so I pushed Dol Guldur up. What I didn't do is keep my eye on what my opponent was doing on the north end of the board here, and ultimately that led to my downfall. It's so good. And you can do things where you can feint things, you can move stuff over here so your opponent thinks, oh, I was doing with Isengard. Really wasn't doing a lot, I just attacked the Fords of Isen. That wasn't my main goal with Isengard. I was building up troops, and for a while it worked. My opponent was suddenly fixated on what I was doing in Isengard. And for a while, and that's what I love about it, this whole tactical military thing. It's like one of those maps you see in films where they're pushing troops, you see them in war films, they're getting big sticks and they're moving miniatures up. They're like, oh, let's get all these together and we'll move them up over here, and then this army's going to move over here. It was brilliant for that, and I really loved it. And as I said, I cannot wait to play it again, so you may see this get played again on the channel at some point in the future. But anyway, War of the Ring is a highly recommended game. Really recommend everyone give it a whirl, even if you don't want to buy it. Perhaps ask someone if they've got it and play it, especially for war gamers. This is a brilliant sort of war game, board game hybrid. It really does work. I really did feel like Middle Earth was happening, and there was many bits where story beats were recreated, like me attacking the Fords of Isen and taking out a leader and some warriors here. That was Theodred's downfall down there. We had the taking of Osgiliath down here, and then the siege of Minas Tirith, albeit a bit out of order, but we had a siege going on in Minas Tirith. We had the other bits of the War of the Ring where Dol Guldur was harassing over here. But so there's these just beautiful moments that you can recreate and also create your own stories. Ironically, the Fellowship didn't really move much. I think that whole hunt thing does lead your opponent to, or your good player to, maybe not move to Fellowship as much as I would like. Anyway, I'd like to see him. I'd like to see the whole getting to Gorgoroth and doing the Mount Doom trip. So yeah, so I'd definitely like to play it again. We didn't even use the Elven Rings. There's even rules for the Elven Rings. You have rules that the 3 Elven Rings are here, that when they're used, they go over to the evil player and he can do likewise, and then they're gone. So they weren't even used. There is so much you can do in this game, so much available to you. And so it's got a lot of replay value in it. You can just play it again and it's not going to be the same game. It's going to be played different. So yeah, this gets the Tower of Middle-earth seal of approval. I don't know what it is. It's the first time we've done this, but thumbs up. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Until we play another game, give it a review. Take care. If you haven't already, have a like and a subscribe and a notification. Hit that little bell. It really does help the channel. I've noticed as soon as people are doing that, the channel's building, and which enables us to do more stuff, because it seems like it's worthwhile for us to do it, and we do it because we enjoy it. But it's always nice to get that seal of approval from you guys. So thank you. Thanks for watching. Till next time, guys. Take care. Thanks for watching, we hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button and leave a comment. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Stick with the channel for many great videos to come.